hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
So welcome back, everybody, and I'm handing straight over to Holland now, to Amsterdam, to Caolina van Haperen. Very pleased to have you here. Thank you. Onegaishimasu. Yes, and I forgot to say, please get your bokens because we will be needing.
Yeah, you don't need it right. You don't need it right now. You need it later on in the session. But feel free to have it on the site anyway. Okay. So welcome everybody, and I'd like to explain how, for me, Aikido and mindfulness can really come together, and how mindfulness can actually fuel more of your Aikido practice and insights. So what I suggest, there's a lot of doing and there's a lot of moving around. So I'd like you just to sit where you want to sit, where you are, where you want to sit, where you can hear me or perhaps even see me. So find a spot where you are, what is comfortable for you. And I'm just going to ring the bell. Just a moment to ring the bell and to guide you a little bit in an awareness practice. Okay? So feel free where you are. Hearing the bell and all the other sounds. And just noticing what's going on in the body. Noticing maybe movement, maybe temperature. Maybe you feel your heart beating, your breath moving. Slight balancing out if you sit. Maybe you notice all kinds of thoughts coming up, what you did and what you may gonna encounter. Maybe expectations or ideas. You don't have to do anything with them. Just see them in the present moment as some mental phenomena that comes and goes. Noticing how you feel, how much energy is left to continue. Maybe you feel calmness or maybe you feel activation. Whatever is there, whatever you notice is fine. You don't have to do anything with it, just being present. And I have a question for you that you don't have to ask loudly or bring out, just a question that maybe helps you. What is in this moment that is very clear for you that you are here? Which information is there that you are aware of, that you're here in your own space, literally or figuratively? And where do you want to shift your attention to? Is there an anchor in this moment where you want to bring your attention to that supports you doing these Zoom sessions going on, not knowing what's coming, but what is supporting you to be here? Is that something that is within you, in the body, maybe in the mind or the heart? Or is it something external that you see through the senses that helps you to be aware of being here right now? And please find an anchor that is neutral or maybe even pleasant right now. Okay, so that anchor can be continuing in our sessions. Anchors can change during time, but just to know that in each moment there's an anchor of attention for you, however you feel, whatever you think, however the body is. Okay. Now I want to ask you to find your own way to shift back, coming back into the Zoom session, maybe with your eyes opening now, and then we're going to start in a minute. All right. Thank you for joining. All right, so I want to see a couple of people, so I'm sorry for my hands. And I've been practicing Aikido for a while and finding mindfulness on my path. And mindfulness, if you ever did meditation in your dojo or somewhere else, you probably heard of the expression or the word mindfulness. And mindfulness is just very, very simple to be explained. It can be a perspective. It can be a certain practice, and it just can also be a skill, a capacity to be with something in the present moment without judging about it or discerning what is there and when it's there. So I'll give you a very small exercise. When you are warming up, sometimes dojos are tending to do some qigong, right? So they start with this expression of opening the hands and closing the hands. So I want to ask you to find your own rhythm, and whenever you start to breathe in, just expand the hands, and when you notice there's breathing out, you bring the hands a little closer to each other. You don't have to bring them together, but just close enough. Just think of kokyu. You can even do it with kokyu, right? So just to notice how you breathe and bring the hands in that motion. So I'm breathing a little bit different than you. Everybody's having their own breath. So notice what's happening. You're moving your hands and you're breathing out and you're breathing in. Yeah? So again, if I breathe in, I expand. When I notice that I breathe out, I bring them together. When I notice I breathe in, I continue till the breathing in is stopping, and I bring them together when there's breathing out. It's just being present in what is in the moment and bringing the movement with that. It's about following the breath. Okay, now we're going to change it a bit. And I want to ask you to see if you can breathe a little longer in and a little longer out. So you're actually emphasizing the breath. Okay? It's not natural in it, not natural sense, but I'm going to expand the time of breathing in and breathing out. And I can match that with my hands. I can bring the hands now prior in the front of my attention, breathing out a little longer. And noticing also the transitions. There's a transition of starting to become in, and a transition to go in the out breath. If you start to be dizzy, just breathe normally, let the hands go. Okay, good, and shake it off. And shake it off in the whole body. Let the breath go where it wants to go. Don't let it hold it, just let it come out. Okay, and then starting from your center, moving a bit, keeping the arms relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Okay, just a big breath and then gently falling forward, all the way down, let your head hang. Coming back, knees slightly bent, push yourself up through the feet. Opening up and breathing out again, forward. Breathing in, coming up. One more time, forward, breathing out. There you go. And breathing in, coming up. All right, good. So, when I started to get into meditation and mindfulness, I noticed that my Aikido on the internal aspects was really growing more and more. So when there was a technical seminar, for instance, it was great because I could work also on the internal aspects and the intrinsic aspects. And I was curious about how do you learn? How do you learn in your own way? So there are a lot of people are learning from hearing, a lot of people from feeling, or instructions, or just watching, and all kinds of senses are in play. But I noticed that if we are in a comfortable place, there was some learning, but it was okay. It's a kind of comfort zone, which is okay. So a couple of things that I was writing on my board, I want to bring into the session today. I hope everything, but otherwise you can contact me. But I noticed Aikido, right, and meditation can also be just pushing yourself into a challenge, which is the name of this session, right? This whole 24 hours. And that there is a zone in where we start to be slightly discomfortable and also kind of like having the invitation to look beyond, to look further. So that's where we actually bring ourselves into a conflict or a stress situation in Aikido, right? We can do that in meditation, mindfulness, but especially in Aikido. We enter into kind of like a stressing, and what's coming out of there is really intriguing me. But also sometimes we can go beyond the discomfort into arousal that we cannot comprehend. Right, then we start to shake, or we start to be very active, or we dissociate, or all kinds of weird stuff starts to be happening with us. And so when I train or when I teach, it's always for me to see where is this window of acceptance or tolerance or capacity where we can learn. Are we too comfortable, or are we triggered a little bit more? So that we can grow on all kinds of levels, right? Not only on the technical side, but also how do we deal with ourselves and with others. Now, I always remember that when I was working with myself, I was very hard on the body and with the partner also as well. And I forgot to find, or I didn't find my helpful tools, resources. What am I searching for when I train, when I'm active? And the art of Aikido is very helpful for me, okay? So what I want to invite you to is, if you find a space where you can go down on the ground, I would invite you to. And what I'm going to suggest is bring yourself down to the ground. I think I'm still in the picture. Okay. So let's play with ways of doing things, okay? So that we know what effective is in there. In each moment, there's a physical, a mental, and a sense situation. So, for instance, we're gonna go doing half rolls. So we're gonna tumble, and I wanna ask you to hold your breath for 4 rolls. Just hold your breath, and how you tumble, I don't care, but just go back and forth. Good. Hold your breath. Right? So we can do it. It's not so comfortable. But what I want to challenge you is, what do you want in your rolls? Now, we can explain a lot, we can invite you, but actually I'd like you to tap into your own experience. How do you want to tumble back and forth, and what are you looking for? Okay, so go ahead. Okay, keep going. I'm gonna see more people.
Hola. Sí, es eso.
All right, okay, coming back. Okay, so I haven't followed all the classes, so I don't know how much you did of ukemi. I saw a little bit with Lars. And maybe when you're doing your exercise, like, oh, there we go again, there's ukemi, or oh, nice, there's ukemi, etc. But what is in front of our attention sometimes forms our experience. Okay, so when I see myself in some mental thing, I actually can see it as a mental formation in a moment, and I consciously, because I'm aware of it, that blah, 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 I can go back into the experience here and now with the bodily sensation. Okay, so it helps to be curious, to help myself get into curiosity of what's going on. Maybe I want to move a little bit faster, maybe because I feel a little bit too calm, or maybe I want to activate myself, or maybe I need to slow down. What is your resource? What is your information? How you want to do your ukemi? So I give you a lot of open questions to inquire. So get used to it for now. But I really want to help you to find your own learning process if you can't go to the dojo, where you can find more of your vocabulary of Aikido. Okay, so I'm going to continue. And we're going to go up slightly, right? So if you can, okay? Tumble, bring one knee front. I can go into the mechanics, but I also can just go into the being in the motion. I can work with the motion, but I can also be in the motion. Okay, I can say like, yeah, I'll bring a knee front, and then your foot should be front. And I can hold my breath, and that's kind of awkward, so I want to breathe out, and when I breathe out, I go down. Maybe I want to breathe in when I come up. I don't know. Maybe it's different for you. All right. Good. Coming up. So I have a really old building, a lot of squeaky floors. So I need to be very gentle for my neighbors to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from standing, and I'm just going to find my way. Coming up, right? Find my way. Up, changing the feet. Find my way down. Right, so keep going. And feel free if you want to do the whole roll, that's fine with me. I'm just thinking also about people that are limited to space or ability. All right. Good. All right. Good. Go back. Coming back in this moment. I hear myself a lot of times. Thank you. I think it's solved. Thank you very much. Good. All right. So we've been warm. I think it's 30 degrees here inside. You may be warmer over there. Come back. into this moment and see what you desire to bring your attention to. Is it something outside of yourself? Is it something that you want to close your eyes and just be with yourself? Just noticing the breath, body, the balance. Noticing if there's more activation or maybe a little bit more tiredness. Just noticing. It's just assessing. It's not determining, oh, this is right or wrong. So words are sometimes very sensitive. So go into the experience. Just be with that. Finding an anchor again. Maybe it's the same anchor as before. Anchor of attention, where it's neutral or slightly pleasant. Or pleasant. Just taking all the sounds around us as part of the moment. This is what it is. All right, and check it out. Good. So again, there is in each moment built-in body, thoughts, and emotions in mindfulness perspectives. Okay, and also out of meditation. We notice also hindrances. Sometimes there's a restlessness, or there's kind of like a sloth and torpor. All kinds of things that can be in the way of keeping the channel open for our practice. I'd like to go into the boken, because that's really a form that we all practice. We have pretty much the same background with the boken practice. And we're going to look into what we are finding in Subudis and mindfulness supporting that. Okay. Okay. So first of all, when you take your boken, what are you looking for in the holding? Is it something that is particular on the outside? So I should bring my hands a certain way. I should bring my posture a certain way. It's kind of like that framework in which we are searching for the Aikido principles. Right? So we want to find balance. So the resource that we tap into is we want to find balance. We want to find grounding. We want to find extension. Right? Do we experience that also? How is it for us? Right? Somebody can stand a little bit different. Well, what is it for us if we have an injury or no injury, or we are shorter or taller? There's all kinds of ways of standing, right? So there are indicators that help us. Should be in front of our center, right? The hips should be open. Everything that is supporting for us to stay connected with the ground. There's also an aspect of creating space in the standing for the sense of up, around, aside of us. Okay, so let's go through Suburis, just on your own. What are you looking for? What do you want to look at? Give yourself the freedom to bring the attention to your own interest, your own curiosity. Right, are you looking for forward orientation or backward orientation or 360? What is comfortable for you enough to notice each cut as the first and final cut? All right, so I can change the feet. It looks like repetition, but with the mindfulness present moment, I notice each cut one at a time. Now go ahead. The whole notion of give yourself 1 second or 2 seconds in between gives you a lot of information. You're mindful in that short moment. What is happening in the posture, your being, while you're working with the bokken. All right, so I'm just going to sit for a moment because when I looked at everybody has a certain quality in their movement, and highly recommend to record yourself from time to time, and just to see what you notice in your movement. So just mirroring yourself. It also helps if you can look at it without any judgment, but just seeing, okay, what's going on? And what I see, what kind of quality is there? And is there something else that I can bring into picture to balance it out? So in Aikido, we often are working with polarities instead of opposites. It is about polarities. They're both there, they both exist. And sometimes on one side it's stronger and on the other side it's a little lighter. So how can we bring that dance so it brings it together in a dance, in a dynamic, right? So when I see a person, for instance, very, very up in their body, they have just a notice for yourself. You have maybe a lot of attention around you, right? And when you do that cut, what is there in your energy? What are you aware of? When a person is very down in their body, right? So that's okay. I notice the grounding, right? So aspects of grounding are very important for you. And if you film yourself, then sometimes you can see, okay, the other side of my quality movement, how would that be? How can I nurture that, right? And then sometimes you can do exercises that are totally different. And I think I noticed that in a couple of moments in this 24-hour challenge, like a little bit too low or high, and where do you come eventually? Where is it okay for you? Okay, so we can look at forms and position, and the form has a function, and what's going on in the form, in the function. And that's the path, all of us. There's an intrinsic and an external and internal process that we learn. So I'm going to challenge you, staying in the realm of challenging. We're going to cut faster. Now you have the cuts that you did were comfortable, you were looking, you were still mindful, but hopefully a bit. But I'm going to speed it up. Now, are you less mindful? Maybe not. You can still, even in the speed, you can still be mindful. But you're bringing yourself in an extra stress component. How do you bring yourself in stress? And at the same time, what is your resource to continue that? Okay, so if you feel, okay, this is a good speed, speed it up. Speed it up. Speed it up. Okay? I challenge you. I'm gonna watch my timer. I'm going to bring the timer in. So if you have a bokken, I'm going to challenge you to cut as much as possible, as fast as possible, within 2 minutes. All right? So I'm going to set the timer, 2 minutes, so I can join you. I'm not going to slack. Okay? So, ready? If you want to join, ready to go? I don't care where you cut, just as fast as you can, as much as you can. Go! And switch feet if you want. You can combine it with the fifth, the fourth, or back and forth. How do you manage the distress? What are you doing? What is helping? And cut, stop. Okay, coming back to place. Let your bokken be there. Take a breath. I'm also having my breath. So what is our anchor right now? Where do we return to after these 2 minutes? We maybe become sweaty. If we allow this all just to see and experience.
Yeah.
If you need any visual orientation, just open your eyes and just close your eyes. How do you come back to balance? All right, and shake it out. Okay, so going back to Kenkamai. And then gently going into the first Suburi again. And just being with that movement. And then stopping 1 second, 2 seconds. Noticing how the body is. Is there anything that you hold that you can relax? You need the breath. And change your feet. Whatever you want to do in your practice is fine. All right, continue. So what quality do you want to bring to surface in your bokken work? However your classes are right now in these simple cuts. Each cut is one cut. What is there that you want to bring up into to serve you and up at the surface? Good. All right. You may. I have one other thing. When we have form, we do it in a specific way. We have our schools, lineage, etc. And we have a frame to work with and within. And the interesting thing is our perspective. How do we train with ourselves and others? And our body tells a lot about our perspective, right? If I have a perspective of you are my enemy, my sword work or jo work would be different, right? So how can I come from that place into exclusion towards slowly accepting a bit, then joining a bit into including? So there's also an intention or a mindset that helps us to find a working way in the body that benefits us. So when we are having the bokken, and we work with the bokken, right? I want you to see, just imagine that you have a partner in front of you, right? You have a partner in front of you. Just imagine somebody. Imagine somebody that is okay, right, for now, okay? So if you are together in a dojo, like Andrea, perhaps just be with yourself instead of turning towards each other. Just give this perspective for yourself in your own solo practice. So imagine somebody or something that is okay right now. So what you want to do is you want to cut towards it, right? You want to stay with yourself. You want to cut towards somebody or something, which is okay for now. And just notice what comes up in the cut. I'm cutting something or someone, right? Noticing how the body feels, the breath, feeling in it. All right, you may just shake it off. Gonna turn around and turn around again. Sometimes the repositioning yourself can help you opening up a different perspective. I want to ask you to bring something into light, someone or something that you have to make a decision about. Okay? Something that's, and it could be very simple. What do I eat for dinner tonight? Or what do I want to do after this session? Okay? Something that needs a decision. And you're not there yet. Okay? So we're going to stay with that, and we're going to keep cutting. And maybe something out of that cutting, staying with that question or decision, what comes out? This is an internal practice for yourself again. And it's also about how do we hold the body? How do we express through the body what's going on? Okay? So if you want, you can stay a little bit with the not knowing yet. And see what comes up. Doesn't have to, the first thing doesn't have to be the answer. And if nothing happens, then nothing happens. Then that's it. Don't have to change anything. Just allow something to come to the surface or not. All right, Jamie. Shake it off, turn around, and turn around again. All right. Now, okay, challenge, last challenge. Almost last challenge. Something, someone that really pisses you off, okay? Maybe it's easy to come to surface. Maybe it's the corona. Maybe it's the situation that the corona gives you, okay? So what do you do in the body? What are you going to express through the cuts? And you can bring the cuts any way you like, whether it is a certain saburi or whatever. What's going on, what's coming through the body towards that, what you're going to cut, okay? So it's not the last challenge, almost the last challenge. After this, just one. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Just cut the crap out of the situation or the person. There we go. And if you want a ki, go ahead. What do you do different now in the body? What does it do with your mind? Feelings about it? It's just about noticing the embodiment, nothing more. Noticing from moment to moment what's going on. Something of clarity comes out, energy perhaps. Maybe you search even more for grounding, or you're moving towards. And yame, shake it out. Okay, I give you one last perspective, and then I'm going to close the session. I give you a perspective of polarities. What if that what gives you shit, or the thing or the person, will eventually show you where to go? But you need to engage with it. You don't have to stick with it, but you need to meet it. You need to meet it like in meditation. You need to meet it to see where you are. What's going on with you? And what are the choices, or maybe the chances, the space opens up for opportunities, okay? For maybe new things, yeah? So meet that what gives you shit, be with it, but see it as part of something new or something that is going to grow even stronger within you. How are you going to meet it then? Right? So you may need to find a new expression in the body for that. Right? You ready? You can still be pissed off, okay? What if it helps you grow? What if it helps you to find new things, new directions? How do you meet it? What is changing in the body right now? Your breath, other elementary elements like grounding, awareness. 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Stop for a moment. If you want, you can close your eyes or find something that helps you support being here in present moment. And just being with this. Bringing attention to something that maybe changes. Hold it for a moment. So when things are fired, you wired in your head. And if you acknowledge your experience, if you name it, you perhaps can tame it. All right, and shake it off. All right, so I think we're about 1 minute ago. I think that will be it. If you can read there underneath anything that you want to know you can contact me, or otherwise through Facebook. The themes are on the board. But thank you all for joining, and looking forward to all other people coming up. And Kayla's coming after me, and I spent some time with Kayla, so stick around because she's got great stuff. Okay. Okay, everybody, take care and have a good rest of the day, and good luck everybody who's going to stick around. See you.
See you. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you very much, Caolina. That was excellent.